What's up, guys? It's Gomlet and welcome back for some more Momir's Madness. Just gonna get our final few days of Momir's Madness in before it drops off the program for a bit when Ravnica Allegiance hops on. I am very excited for Ravnica Allegiance. Especially excited for it being on Arena this early because unfortunately this is the first time in a long time that I won't be able to attend the pre-release IRL, just for work reasons. So, I am super excited for that to hop on Arena. We'll definitely be playing as much as I can afford on there. Not real money, of course. I am a free-to-player, because, money is scarce. But let's hop into the Momir and see what happens here. I think that when Allegiance comes on to Magic Arena, it is going to be sealed only for the first couple days. And then they'll add traditional draft after a while. And the sealeds usually cost quite a bit of gems, so I might spend a little bit on gems. Literally just get the welcome bundle, but that's it. Because the other thing about not spending money on Arena is it's also kind of like, I've spent so long without spending money on Arena now that I feel like it would be kind of cooler to, like, the second I spend a tiny bit of money on Arena, then I can no longer say that I'm a free-to-player, you know? It's like a thing out of principle. It's kind of like, how far can I get on Arena without paying any money? Alright, well, this is the least professional video I've done. Probably ever. Because I just started eating some stuff. Because I am hungry. But I'm definitely not winning this game. They got a mana ramp creature, so they're always 2 turns ahead of me because they went first. And they got a mana ramp creature. So there's just no way I'm gonna win this. At least they got the Brontodon there. That downgraded their 6/5 to a 5/5, and that's basically all it did. Arvod is actually a way better card than he looks like, because a lot of the higher drops are legendary. And just making them bigger is actually pretty nice. It lets if you both get the same legendary, then you're just always gonna win. He's also got Death Touch, so he can take down a really big creature later, whenever you need to. All right. Well, I have a plan now. And the plan is to get there with Darigaz. But that's really hard against 2 5/5s when my field is pretty jank. So the Polyraptor's basically endless 5/5s, so that's pretty bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That has 6 power, so they get to kill my 2 3s. That seems fine. Definitely need to get a large creature next turn to block. Probably going for an 8-drop then. Most of these are just fat ground creatures like that guy. So we got a blocker like we needed. Whoa! Opponent's going risky. Maybe they're hoping to get something that can just kill me this turn. They send in with their flyer, they're dead. Okay. So we're gonna play an 8-mana creature as well. So if I send in, they have to block and go to 1. I block there, 10-10 with my 3/5. Yeah, that's definitely still the plan. It's just sending in with the flyer. And hoping they do not get a Zatalpa. That's the only thing at 8 mana that saves them. The rest of them don't have flying, or they're just a 4/5 with flying. Zatalpa is a 4/8 flying indestructible white creature thing. And it looks like they just got another Slin Voda, so that's going to be game. Actually ended up winning the game against the turn 2 Mana Ramper on the play. That is pretty insane to me. But it is Momir. Shit goes real random. But let's hop into the next game and see how long we can continue our no-loss chain. Because technically the last 2 times we played Momir, we 5-0'd both those times. Alright, dropping a mountain. Mountain's the best land by far. The rest are all okay. I think swamps and islands are probably the next lands to put out. There are some creatures that you can spend some blue mana to give them unblockable, which can be relevant for sure. The game does end up in a lot of board stalls. And there are some black abilities to pump up the creatures. Abilities on cards like Dreadshade and the 2/2 guy from Guilds of Ravnica, I forgot his name. But he's another little common version of Dreadshade, basically. Nice, we got a Mana Ramper. Pretty excited about that. Not really worried about sending my 2/1 in. I don't really care when this trade happens with the 2/2. I guess it would probably be better to just get it off the board now, but these creatures are pretty equal. They both don't really do anything. Alright, so let's go for 5 mana. Well, that was a pretty bad 5-drop. It's just a 3/4 that doesn't do anything. I will go ahead and attack with this little Highland guy. We might as well make the board smaller. Oh, they're just not even going to block? Well, in that case, I should have attacked with them last turn. Because both their creatures kind of suck. So if they're not blocking now... Alright, well now they got a 2/3, so... I missed my opportunity to get more damage in with that guy. But yeah, the other cool thing about Blossom Dryad is... because it untaps any land, I basically have 2 mana of whatever color I need if I happen to get an ability that requires double of something. Which is very nice. Looks like all my creatures have trample now. I have an 8/8 to block, so I can send in the 3/4, but if I send in the 3/4, it just trades with a single 2/2. And if I send in the 2/1, they just block with their 2/3. Fire Fist Adept, I think that actually does 3 damage right now. Oh, it only does 2. Well, they still got to kill my Blossom Dryad, so that was actually probably the best I've ever seen Fire Fist Adept be. It almost always, when I've seen it, just shows up, does 1 damage, and then doesn't even kill anything at that point. So that was a pretty good draw for our opponent. Got the Frilled Sea Serpent. So we need 1 more blue mana, and then that is a very big threat. Which I happen to have just discarded that island, so that's a little bit awkward. Should I send in with the 8/8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They could block with everything and get rid of it. Then I get to make their field way smaller. It looks like they don't even want to block. That is interesting. Because they're definitely not attacking. Alright, so they got a Tetzmox, so that is probably blocking my 8/8 trample this turn. Really wish I could have gotten an island there, because then I could have put the pressure on by sending in the 8/8 and the 4/6. I assume they block the 8/8 with just their 6/6. I get 2 in, they go down to 8, plus the 4 from the Serpent. They would die in 2 turns to that. But I guess if they saw that math as well, then they would probably block it with enough creatures to stop all the trample. But yeah, would definitely like to draw another island here. Well, now I really want to draw another island, because if I draw another island, they just die immediately. Darygaz is like my best friend in this format. It's ridiculous how many times I win with him. I would be interested in seeing the statistics of how many people win versus lose once they get a Darygaz out. I have to assume it's a whole lot of people that win after getting a Darygaz. It's gotta be like 90%. Kazarov as well, though, but unfortunately it is too late for my opponent. That is 4 toughness in the air. Darygaz has trample. They're gonna make me do the blocks. Oh wait, let's not be stupid. If I block with anything, then Kazarov gets bigger, so let's make sure this isn't that much damage. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It's 15 damage. I have to just no-block it so that Kazarov doesn't get any bigger. But I guess I didn't have to no-block it because literally their only untapped creature was Kazarov. So I could have also just done good blocks that left me with at least 2 creatures, and then they would just still die. But they would have had a very large Kazarov. Alright. Heading into round 3. Opponent leads off with a 1-mana card, and they get the Dauntless Bodyguard. Certainly not a bad 1-drop. Pretty average. It's a 2/1. So we'll probably just trade off in the next turn's combat. Or I just get a first strike guy and then their one drop's useless. Pretty nice. I mean, that's what usually happens with one drops. They just get nullified on turn 2 or 3, but I was not expecting this quality of a one drop to just get immediately nullified. They went for another 1 mana card. I think that was probably a misclick. But they got another decent one. If they ever want to skip playing a card later, they can start making their Delver bigger. But that's almost definitely too slow for Momir. It's probably just always better to play another creature than do that. Ooh, I want some planes now. Resplendent Angel. I need 3 white mana to use that ability, but it is a good one. It is a very good one. And I have not drawn a single plane so far. Let's go ahead and send in the first strike guy. Even if they double block, he'll be fine. Turn 3 for our opponent here. 3 mana they get a Sailor of Means. Definitely a pretty good 3-drop. I would say it's not as good as the Angel for sure, but getting that treasure is pretty nice to be able to play something pretty large the turn after. Oh, no planes, man. Come on. That's all I want to draw now is just planes. But that's fine. Without the planes, the Angel is still pretty good. I got to get a 3/3 flyer pretty early this game. 3/3 flyer on turn 3 in Momir's. Straight gas. So if I were my opponent here, I would probably use the treasure immediately and go for a 5-drop because they need to put some pressure of their own on, or get something with flying to stop this as soon as possible, and that is what they do. They go for 5, and that is some pressure of their own, but it also wiped their field a little bit. However, I think that's most likely just going to trade with my 5/2. Because I am going to swing with the 5/2 this turn, so I can put another counter on... Well, not another, but so I can put a counter on the Angel. I'm actually going to keep this island, because last game I got a creature with a good double blue ability. So I'm going to make sure I have double blue this time. Of course, that just means this game I'll somehow get something that requires a lot of black mana. But I feel like I'm kind of past that point in terms of mana costs. Dread Shade and the other one that gets pumped up are both like 3 mana. Tetsamok's ability doesn't matter because it only works in your hand, so I can't really think of many black abilities for late game creatures. So yeah, opponent scoops there because they were, I think, dead on board. Because the 4/4 had Menace, so they could double block the 4/4, but then they take 6 from the Angel and the 2/2, or they could block the 2/2, in which case they take 8, and they only had 6 life, so they were dead on board. Let's go ahead and check out what our weekly wins pack got us. Something sweet. Expansion and Explosion. Well, it's neat. It's definitely neat. I don't think I've ever gotten a shock land in one of these packs. I just keep having to draft them. But that's like all I want. Alright, back into the Momir. That is 3 rounds and 3 wins in, heading into round 4. Can we continue the 5-0 streak? That streak is currently at 13-0, and if you count the 5-1 beforehand, that's 18-1. I have not done any Momir off-screen since the last Momir event I recorded, so I'm on a really nice win streak right now. And we'll see if the luck can continue. Opponent gets the Shauna, which is not bad. It definitely just gets scarier and scarier as the game progresses. Sorry if you heard that. One of my cats just like busted something up outside. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting card to get because it also encourages you to play differently. Usually in Momir, what I'll do is I'll take like any trade I can get early game. We'll just be trading off creatures all day. But if you have a Shauna out, then you might want to play more defensively and more around saving your creatures on board. And then just utilizing the Shauna as your one threat. Because she can get pretty big pretty fast. Looks like my opponent is skipping 3 mana though, so they're probably not going to try to keep the Shauna around to get massive. Because if that was their plan, they would probably be playing a creature every opportunity they could get, and they just did not play a creature this turn. So we'll see if they just trade off the Shauna for the 2-1. I would not be super surprised. Yep. Alright, so I did get an Adeliz on turn 3, which is super good. Flying, Haste, 2-2. Most important abilities there are Flying. But Haste is pretty nice as well. Lets me get the damage in immediately. And they got a wall that does not have reach, so I will just fly right around the left or right hand side of that wall. Such goofy art. Alright, so we'll play a Plains now. At 4 mana. Let's see what we get. Pretty nice, Jadecraft Artisan. I don't know if it's just me, but every time I've gotten Jadecraft Artisan, I've gotten a pretty good creature to pump up with it. Like, I've gotten value out of the ability much more often than not. I guess it also just kind of works well because of its mana cost. Usually when you're this early in the game, that +2/+2 pump is actually a pretty big deal. Even if I didn't have something with flying, it would let me attack towards a opposing horde of creatures more easily. Sentinel of the Pearl Trident, so we're going to target that. We are going to decline to exile it, because that would just kill it. So the plan stays with the Flyers. They have a 3/4 on the ground now, so looks like the Artisan is not going to be attacking. It wouldn't have attacked this turn regardless, because they have their 0/6 wall. Adeliz has let me get a lot of early damage in here, which is nice, but I doubt it'll last forever. Because at this point, the second they get anything with flying or reach, Adeliz is basically useless. Because they have made it to very high mana costs. Also, they got Muldrotha at 6, which is super nice. They get to play a land and a creature every turn now, since they can just play the lands from their graveyard and then discard from their hand. So they basically don't have to spend a card to use Momir's ability anymore, which is pretty cool. Let's see what we get at 6 mana. No, I wanted 6. I wanted 6. I know it could be a Demon Lord, but that's part of the fun. Nightmare Sphinx. Well, it is the Dream Eater, the Nightmare Sphinx. So wouldn't be surprised if the opponent just scoops. I might have just scooped. Actually, that's not true. I very rarely scoop in Momir, because you never know, but that was a insanely good 6-drop. Very, very lucky on my side. It is another flying threat, and I got to get rid of their only scary creature. And it looks like they just scoop now. They were going to 4 that turn, so they weren't dead yet, but I can respect the scoop. I did get pretty lucky there. So that is 4 rounds in, 4 wins, heading into the final 2 matches at the most, 1 at the least. Hopefully it's the final match, because that would mean that that is another 5-0 under my belt, which would be sick. Oh, if anybody is wondering about the avatars that keep changing, I have no idea why that's happening. I don't know if it's a glitch or if it's a thing that they do when you're playing Momir now. That would be really cool. Yeah, I have no idea. So, if you were wondering, like, oh, that's cool, how do I put it on random? I have no clue, but I'm glad that it's on random, because that's cool. That is super cool. If it's a glitch, then, hopefully they leave it in. I have to assume most people would prefer that they didn't leave in a glitch like that, but I don't really care too much who my avatar is, so it's kind of cool to have them all flopping around and switching people all the time. Give everyone a little spotlight down there. Oh my god. This is just my freaking Momir event today. Oh my god. I've gotten so lucky in most of these rounds. That might be the best. Well, it's debatable, but that's definitely one of the best 2-drops. 2/2 Flying Menace. So even if they get a flyer, even when they get a flyer, they still can't block it until they get another one. Super good card. So we're gonna send that in. They got a pretty good 2-drop as well. Basically, I need something with 3 power before I can even kill that. So I can't even trade my 2/2 for that. If I block, they will just kill my 2/2. So they got a decently aggressive card as well, followed by a Catalyst Elemental, so opponent has a good start. It's just... this is like a really good start, just the Sky Terrier. So I can't really block that either, so it's almost like that guy's got evasion right now, but probably not for long. So yeah, the Catalyst Elemental, they can sack it and get 2 mana, which means next turn they can play a 6-drop, and if it's good enough, that could just destroy me. But I guess I'll just keep getting, like, above curve flyers. That's insane. 2/2 Flying Menace, followed by 6/6 Flying Trample. Wow. The program is really on my side today. Let's see if they go for 6. I would definitely go for 6 if I were them. This is a 2-turn clock. I hit them for 8 next turn, followed by 8 the turn after that. They've got to get something crazy. A Dream Eater would be really nice. Something like that. They got an Azoni, which is 2/3 that doesn't do anything. Oh, wow. I would hate to be my opponent right now. I wish there were a Sorry in Magic Arena, but I think that the reason they didn't put it in is because they're like, oh, the only reason that would be in there is the BM. But literally, oh my god, this is ridiculous. There's another flyer. But like, I could just BM when they got the 2/3 by saying nice, you know? People will always find a way to BM. So I wish that there were a Sorry in there so I could legitimately say sorry when they got the 2/3. Because this is ridiculously not fair right now. And there's the Argle. He's cool, but he's on the ground, so there's another 5-0 Momir's Madness event under my belt. I'm not even sure if I'm gonna upload this one because I was super unprofessional at the start. Just eating candy. But I'll listen into it and see how bad it sounds. Because this is ridiculous. What am I doing? Let's not. Let's pay 0, I guess. Cool. Alright. I guess Demon Lord Belzenlog doesn't kill you immediately. He doesn't kill you till your next turn, so I could have still played a 6. But I was like, wait, I don't need to play anything here. Alright, so let's see what we got for the Momir. Here we got a Glaive of the Guild Pact for a random daily win award. And for the 5-0 Momir's Madness run, we got a Seal Away. Definitely a nice card. Definitely sees play in Standard. And Varric's Bladewing. I don't think anyone is using that, but it's cool. And it's a mythic, so not a bad card to get. Thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you for another Momir's Madness event soon. Hopefully, I'll 5-0 that as well. Thanks for watching.